LLC to help educators and parents during some tough times. They're focusing on literacy and leadership.
Happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome to episode 127 of the Real Academy, brought to you by Create and Educate with your very own Leadership DoctHers, HERS. I am Dr. Sheka Houston. We are the home of the success formula.
And I am Dr. Tammy Taylor. Good morning, everybody.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Tammy.
Good morning.
Thank you all for joining us. And if this is your first time tuning in, let us know with an emoji in the comments how you have done this week keeping it real. If this is your first time, that REALL acronym that you see at the top of our screen there stands for respect, excellence, accountability, literacy, and leadership. So that's that success formula that I was telling you about. That's what Tammy and I used to move our schools 2 and 3 report card grade levels in 1 year with our dynamic staff members. And we always shout them out because that growth is atypical for 1 year. It's usually done over a 3-year period, but we use that formula to work smarter and not harder. So we're definitely very proud of the districts and the leaders that we are currently working with, teaching them that same success formula so they can take their efforts and push them in the right direction to be able to have success at their schools as well. And just as our colleague, Josh Tovar, tells us all the time, Fantastic Four member, we are definitely all better together.
We certainly are. And if you guys are wondering what our background is, Sheka and I, between the two of us, have about 48 years of experience, which includes both district and school level administrative experiences. We have received the STEAM School of Excellence Award and the Palmetto Silver Award for growth. We've both exited school improvement, and most recently, we were the 2023 Local Entrepreneur Accelerator Program winners that was sponsored by Wells Fargo and Truist Bank, which is certainly something that is truly exciting to us. If you like support as a leader who is constantly evolving in this ever-changing space of education, our TrustMate Institute and our Build My Sister programs are providing leaders with top-notch support and insight. Our current Build My Sister Collaborative virtual event already has over 550 people registered. So we are super excited and ecstatic about what is happening with us at Create and Educate.
Most definitely. And before we get started, I want to shout everybody out. So thank you, Stacy, for joining us. Happy New Year. I'm glad you got your sound going. Real Purposeful, good morning. Principal Rashard Davis from Las Vegas, good morning. Our very own Josh Tovar out of Texas. And also Principal Sean Hurt, who was on fire as usual with that NWEA training this morning.
Definitely.
Jasmine Harris out on the West Coast. Good morning, Queen. And the GOAT, Principal Kafele, who will be joining next. And we super really enjoyed and were excited about
Oh,
our
yeah.
session with him last week. That was phenomenal. Good morning, Principal Kafele. And my mom is joining us. Good morning, Mom, Miss Beverly Hall.
Miss
Melissa
Beverly.
Jones, so glad to see that you are recovering and doing well. Am I freezing? Can you hear me?
I can see and hear you.
Okay. Principal Dot McKeever Jeter, thank you for joining us. Principal Sherrod Laws, Central Hicks, and Miss Donna Shera Grant, thank you all for joining us. We are going to get started. Oh, September. Thank you for joining us. And I think I got everybody. Lynette Wilson, Arcella, and Dr. Stacy Ann. Leonard Webb, thank you all for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll get the comments up in just a second. But if you've been with us the past few weeks, we've been talking about this topic, which our topic for today is that we're bringing you some solutions to prepare educators for industry shifts. And we've been discussing for a couple of weeks about what we're talking about today. And today we're going to give you what we call the real solutions, and what the doctors call their prescription for what's happening with these industry shifts.
Yeah, and so if you've missed the past couple weeks, like Sheka said, what we're talking about is the companies dropping the requirement for having to have a bachelor's degree for many of their entry-level positions. We've been discussing how exposure to careers is so super important, and how we have to update our course offerings and make sure that we are offering students opportunities that will help them in their futures, not just based on what we've always done or what seems easiest for us. And after reading the comments that you guys have shared with us, we noticed that there was a strong desire to have more resources for the elementary age child for exposure to careers. Because we know we do career days and career fairs, and we provide that overarching level of support to students at that age level. But we know that you're asking for more specific help with the elementary age child.
So when I was reading the comments over on LinkedIn, there is a assistant principal out of Atlanta, Georgia, who has some great innovative things that they were piloting this year at her elementary school. So we definitely wanted to bring her in to share that, because we are true collaborators and we definitely build our sisters. Good morning, Tashika. How are you?
Good morning, doctors. How are you?
Good
Doing
morning.
well. And
Thank you for having me.
We're excited.
thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. And she also mentioned that she's tuned in to all of the platforms every Saturday. So we definitely appreciate Real and the other part of our network family members to join us this morning. So what I read was that your elementary school basically has a new program for your students that involves career, technology, agriculture, and engineering. So just first tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I'm going to bring up what you're going to share with us.
Okay, so good morning, everyone on the platform. I'm happy to be here. I am a North Carolina born, bred, and raised individual. I graduated from North Carolina A&T, the number one HBCU, I must say. So I had started my education career in 1996. So I have been an educator in high school, pre-K through fifth. I've been an ESOL teacher, a curriculum support teacher, and now I am serving as an assistant principal. So it's been a while, and I've enjoyed every moment of it.
Well, that is awesome. So, tell us a little bit about the program that you are piloting. And like I was telling you when we talked about it earlier, you don't really hear about Kate type programs going down to the elementary level. I've always been told that the funding for Perkins, which funds our program, stops at the middle school. So tell us about the program, how it's funded, and how it's helping your students get exposed to careers.
So we were fortunate to be selected one of 4 schools in Fulton County Schools to pilot this CTAE program. So it's our Career Technical and Agriculture Education Program. So this is a way for students to focus on engineering, computer science, information technology, entrepreneurship, and agricultural. So the curriculum is collaborative and developed by educators in elementary, middle, high school, district wide. So if you can go to the next slide,
Okay.
I'll share with you a few of the activities that our students have been participating in since the beginning of the school year. So here, these are our future aerospace engineers, and they're working hard on designing and building their rockets, and the students actually launch their rockets outside. So here are some future engineers here at Ice Springs. So next slide, please.
Okay. That is awesome. I love that at this age level, they are getting exposed to engineering because many elementary students haven't even heard about what an engineer is.
And my school, Ice Springs, is a Title I school.
Mhm.
So many of our students don't have family members that are engineers or ever heard of an engineer. So this is a way that we are able to expose them to those types of careers and say, hey, we start now and you build on it from elementary all the way up to high school. And here's an example of our first graders. They demonstrated remarkable enthusiasm and proficiency in this exploration of wind turbines. And you can see here, it's not only about making a wind turbine. Our awesome teacher, Ms. Kyla Rogers, she implements writing with them. She goes through those steps with them. They are working collaboratively, and this is a first grade classroom.
That's
I
phenomenal.
love this. The earlier that we can get them exposed and hooked on the possibilities of what they can become, the better.
And we even have had students that have traveled outside of Georgia and have come back and said, I saw a wind turbine.
Oh,
So for them
wow.
to also make that connection,
Mm-hmm.
that
What it's
speaks
all about.
volumes. Yes,
It
that
is.
it is. So this one is them being industrial engineers, tested their recycling sort of to determine if they needed to make improvements. So it's
Wow.
not only about creating, but also, well, how can I go back and change it to make it better? So they're problem solving also. So as you
Uh,
can see, we do a plethora of things. This one is students coding. We were fortunate that program provides laptops for the students, for Ms. Rogers to keep in her classroom, for them to do coding. And this is a way to integrate what they love best at any age, playing with Legos. But they were building a structure using coding.
Wow. That is just completely phenomenal. And what grade levels does this course, what grade levels are allowed to take the course?
So it is our K through 5. It is
K
one of
through
our
5.
specials. So when they have PE, music, art, they rotate to CTAE as well. So all of our students are exposed to engineering. And for Unit 1, engineering was based on the skill was engineering design process. The careers that were discussed were like aerospace engineer, industrial wind energy engineer, And some of the projects we saw was the pinwheel,
Mm-hmm.
cycling sorter, the water rocket. Students designed them, and they are amazing. When I spoke with Ms. Rogers, she said, at the beginning of the year, she had the students to discuss what careers would they like to enter.
Mm-hmm.
They said the typical careers, and there's nothing wrong with it. They want to be firefighters. Of course, we love our teachers. And now she said it has all turned. They are changing their career path. So starting at this age, at the elementary age, it's not too early. Some people say, oh no, our students, they can wait until middle or high school. But providing that opportunity now, our unit 2 was computer science and information technology. That was the basis of coding. So giving them those opportunities, building and programming a car, when they're able to make those accomplishments in the classroom and write about it, she does an awesome job integrating writing. She sees where maybe our iReady scores are down in one area, she'll integrate. So she does an awesome job. And that's a key also, not just having the program, but making sure you have the admin team and a teacher that is invested. And our teachers across the board are invested in the program.
That is phenomenal. So what is her background? Is she elementary certified teacher or a different type of certification?
She is an elementary certified teacher, but she is one of those teachers that takes the initiative to grow. She has obtained several endorsements through the county. She's now working toward her teacher leadership degree through Georgia State. So she is one of those that is going to set the education field on fire. So she is always willing to work hard for our students and staff.
That is phenomenal. And Principal Sherrod Law stated that he can't wait to see the impact on discipline and academic goals. Have you all noticed any impacts, or I know you've already talked about their outlook on careers has already changed. Any other impacts that you've noticed?
Yes, we have seen a 65% decrease in our discipline.
Wow. Say that again. People in the back
65%. I'll say it again for the people in the back. 65% decrease in our discipline. I do a lot of restorative practice with our students, and it's not always punitive. And I talk to my teachers about, okay, if there's a discipline problem, what is the root cause? There's always a root cause. We have conversations, but make sure building those relationships in the classroom, it makes a difference. When they're here at school, they're learning, they're growing. And we have seen that with our iReady middle of the year diagnostic scores for reading and math. A lot of our students met their stretch growth.
Wow.
So we are seeing that on the numbers are just phenomenal. And I have to shout out my attendance team, the school district. Everyone is focused on attendance. If the students are not here, they're not learning, they're not growing. Well, our school was focused on, we were 24% severe, chronic, and chronic absences. Our goal for the year was to be at 17%. I can say we are at 17% halfway through the school year.
Wow.
So we are working hard, making sure we're connecting with those parents, talking to those parents, having meetings, doing home visits. And reaching out to those parents have really made a difference in that connection and building those relationships, because they open up to us, myself and my social worker, Miss Jones. She is awesome. And they need services, they need support. And when you don't have those connections with them, they're not going to open up. So we have been able to provide a plethora of support for our families just through having those home visits. We bring parents in, have those parent meetings. We discuss those attendance issues. This is how it's affecting them academically. And some parents are like, oh, they're fine. this is what we're seeing. And we have seen that turnaround. That's why we're at 17% right now.
That is phenomenal. And what you've described has hit every part of our REAL acronym. Respecting the fact that your students, knowing their backgrounds, what they need, making sure that you're providing what they need. You have those positive relationships with parents. You all are walking in excellence with making sure that you have high expectations for your students with your programming that you're offering. Nothing is watered down. When you're talking about coding and engineering, those are high rigor type of things that your students are meeting those standards and getting exposed to those things, and it's showing up in your iReady scores, because Tammy and I know what it means when you say stretch goals. That is over and beyond what the recommendation was. And when you're trying to improve a school that has some deficiencies there, and moving up that 2 and 3 report card grade levels in 1 year, those stretch goals are the key. So if you all have those students meeting those stretch goals, that is phenomenal. And so I know that it's impacting your students are being accountable. You have your teachers being accountable. You talked about your attendance team. The literacy with reading and math is improving, and your leadership is definitely on point. Everyone is shouting you out. So keep up the phenomenal work, what you're doing over in Fulton County. We appreciate you.
Thank you. And I shout out my principal, Akasha Lee. We work together and it's onward and upward. I always say I want to be the change that I want to see. It's one thing to talk about it, but it's another thing to put those things in practice every day. And that's what we do.
That is phenomenal. Well, thank you so much, Tashika, for joining us. We definitely appreciate you. We're collaborators and we love to build our sisters. So when I saw what you were doing and what people were needing, Tammy and I knew that you would be perfect to come on with us.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you inviting me, and this was awesome. And I hats off to both of you. I love the work that you have done. I'm looking forward to the event that's coming up. I have registered, and I am going to get others to get on board and register as well.
Well, thank you so much. If anyone wants to have this program at their school, how do they go about doing that?
Well, they can reach out to me. I'm sure if they want to come in and visit our CTAE program, Principal Lee, Ms. Rogers, we will welcome them in so they can see the phenomenal work that our Hawks are doing on a daily basis, because we love our little Hawks and we just hold them to high regard, and they know how much we love them and support them every day. So please feel free. You can reach out to me and we can set up a tour at
Put
any
your
time.
put your email in the chat and I'll copy and paste it over to
Okay,
the comments.
I will.
And one other thing that we found too that is also good if you're not able to implement the program that Tashika's talked about right away. Razi Careers is another exploration program that could go from K through 8. So I will put that information in the chat as well. Any closing remarks, Tammy or Tashika?
I just want to say thank you again for this awesome opportunity. Thank you to my educators that logged on this morning. I put it in our group me, and sure, some of my family members have jumped on Twitter as well. So I appreciate their support, and thank you, ladies. At any time that I can be of support or collaborate with you again, I welcome it.
Well, thank you so much. I'm trying to get this backed out so it'll come up right. This is how you can reach Miss Truesdale and find out any information, and I will put that information for Rising Learning in there as well for you all. So thank you all for tuning in to another episode of the Real Academy. We will see you back next week. Jump on with us next to Principal Kafele. He has phenomenal guests coming on with him. And remember, at Create and Educate, we create spaces that thrive. So please keep thriving on this Saturday. Bye-bye.